You know, I lock the door every night. I secure my property before I go to sleep.
Without your wife home.
I don't know where
He's freaking ridiculous. Are you I mean, she killed his argument right there. I lock my property up every night without your wife home. I didn't know where you were. Welcome to part two of this fantastic ultimate couples, whatever you want to see. Entertaining to say the least, but hey, we got to keep talking about it because there is some madness involved. Madness. But first, if you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. If not, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I definitely appreciate it. Once we get to 1,000, we're going to be looking at that live show. Thank you so much. Let's get into it.
Okay.
This was a bad one.
So is this what you imagined?
So he was living in a basement of his friends or something like that in the meantime in transition. But right after this, she was done.
In my living situation to be like, or is it worse?
I would like a divorce.
Yeah, that was another one that ended very early. Problem with that was on the honeymoon, she wanted to go do everything. He was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to do it for you, but it's not my thing. That's kind of the extent of what he said. And she immediately started getting mad because he said it wasn't really his thing. That was it. He didn't say he wouldn't do it. He didn't not do anything, but he was just telling her that they're a little different in that aspect. And yet, right then, she got turned off. And once they got back, you know, the basement thing, whatever, she was done anyway. And then she tries to reach out to Gil. Thank God, I guess that didn't work out. But nevertheless, they didn't work out, and clearly she made a snap judgment. Now, she was very young. I didn't think she was ready from the get-go. But again, winner chicken dinner from the damn experts, for sure.
I don't think I can do this.
Okay, that just looks put on. I've been saying this since the season. It looks put on.
I want to marry a stranger.
Oh.
I still maintain that maybe the original person backed out beforehand. Maybe there was never an original person. They're trying to just drum up ratings because someone got left at the altar. I still think that's probably a producer, someone they sent out there and said, all right, we need you to go and say we're going to leave you at the altar. I don't think he knew. I think overall, he grew on me. Michael grew on me. Towards the end of the season, I liked the guy. I had some criticisms, God, I can't speak, of him. But at the end, towards the end of the season, he grew on me. I think overall he was a genuinely good guy. He wasn't ready for marriage, but out of all the guys, he was probably the best guy. But I don't think he knew about it. I think they just did that, and it was maybe a producer or someone like that. And then he got Chloe, and they could have been something good, but they obviously weren't, you know, good for each other, whatever. But, you know, I think there's some things in the background to try to get eyeballs on it, because there's this massive event. Someone gets left at the altar.
And then this morning he said, I'm not his typical type.
She's saying to have given of myself to him before I'd done that, he knew what I looked like, and to have allowed us to take it that far.
Well, did he have a drink?
My God, this is his, you know, in-laws or whatever. She now talking to them about that they had sex right away. I mean, that's a little awkward, but nonetheless, she did. And she says, well, did he have a drink? Like that makes it okay. Like he says, I'm unattracted to you, but we had sex twice or whatever. But because he was drunk, that's okay. I'm like, all right. Well, we see where he gets it then. We see why he is the way he is. Because I guess I think that's mom, aunt, whatever, makes excuses for him like nonstop. Clearly, there's a reason he's the way he is. And it's you, lady. It's you. And then there was this one. What did you hear?
So I told you he was engaged and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I just found out she's pregnant.
Oh, man. And I'm not laughing at her. I feel bad for her. I'm laughing because he's such a bad person. He's so bad. He was engaged. He got her pregnant, claims he's not attracted to the girl he just had sex with. And there's more.
Steve actually is unemployed right now. He sounds like he's in between jobs.
Ever since she heard this, it was a problem. They went downhill from there. Now, it never seemed like he didn't have money. Yes, he didn't have a job at the time, and he's like, yeah, I'm just weighing my options and stuff, but it never came off as not having money. He just didn't want to talk about it. But yet, he was talking about budgeting and handling things. He still came off financially responsible. Just because you don't have a job doesn't mean you're penniless. But she made it seem like that. The interesting thing about their relationship is she would run to social media and talk about their relationship and then say, but I didn't say your name, even though everyone knows what it's about. And he's like, just don't do that. And she's like, well, I need to vent to my followers. I mean, come on. Like, I felt bad for the guy. I think she was not a good pick. She was not. I mean, there's a lot of not good picks. She was not a good pick.
To cook me dinner for the first time.
He says these are completely overcooked. That's all he says.
She has her gluten-free noodles. I have my regular noodles.
They're overcooked? I can't have your noodles.
She goes to the door. She grabs sushi. She gets up and leaves.
Sushi the dog.
And doesn't say where she's going.
I mean, that's the extent of it. He says the noodles are overcooked, and she's supposed to be cooking, and she's like, these are just overcooked. And then she gets up, takes the dog, and leaves. Like, damn. How are y'all going to resolve anything if you are leaving when it comes to, like, something so simple? And y'all can't be like, I mean, even just to say, look, that hurt my feelings. It shouldn't have hurt your feelings. But, I mean, damn, you ran away? Like, that's how you handle it? No wonder they weren't going to last. Then they start to talk about the ultimate hot mic moments. Now, these people, they get heated and I guess forget they're wearing microphones. Sometimes maybe they do it for the camera and just don't care. I don't know. But some of them are very entertaining and some of them are like, why the hell are y'all with these people after this happened? It's crazy.
And he was like, I want to pull it back. I'm not emotional right now. I'm like, you do.
My God.
I'm living in your roast infected apartment with your income. I'm going to
Good
go back
God.
into South Boston.
She starts trashing his apartment, trashing his, his income, all these things. Like, this was Mark and Lindsay. And it's just like, my God, like, they had these fights, but she always would come off as just the horrible person. Like, it was awful. She was another one who came to a reunion. It was just vindictive, just like seething. It was just horrible. It's like, and she wants to tell everyone how happy she is now, but it's like, I don't see it on you. You just look miserable. Like, my God, I hope you find someone and y'all can work together and you can soften your exterior of just anger. But damn, I mean, that's ridiculous. It really is. Then there was Jose.
Calls me by another man's name.
By the way, you've been together like a few weeks. Like, what the hell, man? I mean, this is the thing. If I remember correctly, and it's been a while since I've seen the season, but if I remember correctly, it was like, it wasn't even like it was something more innocent than just, you called me like we were having sex and you called me another guy's name. It wasn't anything like that. And she apologized. My bad. You've been together a few weeks. Like, I mean, it can bother you a little bit. Like, yeah, we're married and, you call me by someone else's name. I don't really like that. You're married to me. I mean, it's kind of a little awkward. But that should be the extent of it. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. That should be the extent of it. He went off. And then he starts to tell her, well, bounce, you can just leave. And by the way, he's the one that locked her out of the damn apartment. But we'll get to that. Then there was this one.
Do you like to have fun? God.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Like, she said, do you like to have fun? It was jokingly. Like, again, my opinion on her turned a lot, but this was ridiculous on his part. He could not let it go with her saying, like, do you even like to have fun? Like, jokingly, but because he's kind of being a little serious. Like, yeah, I like to have fun, of course. I'm sorry, am I being serious? Just let it go. Again, this whole thing with, like, just letting stuff just sit with you. It's like, that is a miserable life to live. And he could not let that go. And she was still laughing it off then. Of course, later on, she showed her true colors too, so they both had a lot of faults. But in this moment, I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
And you still didn't answer the question about why you unfollow everybody. And you can't.
This one's ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. This is about the only negative thing they show with Justin, which is crazy to me because he was one of the worst.
Answer the question. You can't answer the question.
Take some of that bass out your mother voice, boy.
What you gonna do, bro?
Hold on, hey, yo.
He ain't gonna do nothing. I'll tell you that. He's the biggest butter soft that you would ever see.
I'm here. I'm here.
The thing is, he's the type that thinks because he's like 7 foot tall that he's like, I'm just gonna tell everyone how I feel. Except yet he's crying about everything and lying about everything. Basically, he's a very small person inside this big tall exterior. That's what he is.
Wait, I got hands.
I'm here.
I'm here too.
I got hands. I'm like, dude. I mean, you in high school, you know they're going to hold you back. Every time someone tries to raise up and fight on these, it's like 99% of them are BS because they know that someone's going to come and hold them back. They're not going to let a fight happen. So that's ridiculous. But he is worse than that. He is the one that, like I said, he lied the whole time. Started talking about, I'm trying to wait and do all these things when they tried to have sex on their honeymoon, but he couldn't perform. But because that was embarrassing to him, he tried to hide that the whole time, acting like they're trying to wait. And at the end, she finally comes out and says that. mad because he's being so insufferable. He also says that the other guy's trying to hit on him, which never happened, and he's trying to be like, everyone wants to know the size of my stuff. Everyone. That's why I'm trying to get something more meaningful, because everyone just wants to know because I'm tall if my stuff's big, you know? Like, I'm like, that is someone who's very small inside. That's what that is.
Why do you have that?
This is
Talking about a dating app. An old dating app.
old.
You are married. I deleted every single thing that makes you question who I am as a person.
No, but yet he's the one that went and said, oh, but I've slept with a mom and a daughter. So it doesn't matter what he deleted. He's still talking about his exploits. And the fact that she just had an app on there, fine, you've been married a couple weeks. You didn't go through and clear everything out. No big deal. Like, she's telling the truth. I can tell she's telling the truth. She just looks like she is. But him flipping out, he could have said, it kind of bothers me you have a dating app on there. It's like, okay, I'll get rid of it. That could have been the end of it. Instead, he flipped the out. It was crazy. Like, these are children. Not everyone. A lot of people in the show are just children. It's crazy. And of course, Jose continues to be the big douche that he is because this right here.
You locked me out
You know, I lock the door every night. I secure my property before I go to sleep.
without your wife home.
I don't know where you...
He's freaking ridiculous. Are you I mean, she killed his argument right there. I lock my property up every night without your wife home. I didn't know where you were.
Or what you were doing.
Then ask.
Like, you just took off.
Then ask.
Like, the simplest answer just diffuses him. And like I said, I don't buy that they didn't know what was going on. The producer, somebody, they did this. They let it happen. He locked it on purpose. It was ridiculous. It was a horrible thing to do. And he's a douchebag of a human being. And they're not together because guess what? Douchebags ain't going to end up being there in the long run. It's not going to last. Everyone's going to get wise and leave you. Absolutely.
Said that you were a yoga teacher. A lot of what you told me turned out not to be true.
I'm kind of over it.
Did you really think this guy was a yoga teacher? Come on, man. He lied to you and said he's a yoga teacher at a yoga studio. He lied about his income. Like, she just finally had enough. I mean, she knew that was kind of like, it's suspect probably. But she's like finally like, listen, you lie about every damn thing. You've been together like a few weeks and you think that this is going to last? Or you think that he's just going to continue to lie about absolutely everything? Like, damn, he showed his cards early. And of course, the final one for Paige and Chris.
All right, so 6 years ago,
like he's smiling. He's smiling.
Accident, so
he is smiling when he's saying this. Like he's happy about it. He's fine.
She hasn't owned a vehicle in 6 years. So this week I bought her a brand new Benz.
You bought your ex-fiance, the pregnant mother of your future child, a brand new Mercedes? And you thought, you just got done telling the story about how she hasn't had a car for 6 years, and you thought, when you just got married, it's the right time? This dude clearly was trying to sabotage them, or he just thought, maybe he is just a sociopath and thought it was hilarious to mess with this girl. I feel bad for her. Like, damn. The expert she should have sued for, I don't know, not for defamation, but she should have sued for damages. Like, damn, y'all set me up. She probably would have won.
App.
And of course,
like
the
1 week
biggest.
left, man. Couldn't have waited.
He was on a dating app that her friends saw, and like, I mean, you couldn't have waited. You couldn't have waited. Come on, man. We got 1 week. Like, she's done. She's not upset, like hurt inside because she's done with it. She's just more like, what the hell, man? Are you serious right now? You couldn't wait a week? Are you like a sex addict or something? Like, dude, get it together. Just give me my dignity and last a week without treating me like garbage.
Like, I don't want to leave my baby, but I know I have to temporarily.
They are talking about ultimate sacrifice, and they decide to show Justin, who was one of the biggest douches ever because he decided to put his aggressive dog in a kennel while he's trying to supposedly make the marriage work. But yet they don't really want to show anything negative for him? Like, really, what is wrong with you guys? What's wrong with y'all? Are y'all not being real? Do you think that if you're real about it and say, let me just tell you how it really is, it's going to like hurt your viewership or something? I don't know. But let's be honest here and talk about how bad that guy was. My God. And then they start talking about the ultimate love story. Okay, they at least kind of get this one right, but they're not really truthful about some of the nuances about it. So this is Jamie and Doug. They're from season 1, I believe, but they made it work. They are still together. But let's take a look at what they're talking about.
Hope that we can fall in love and stay married and have babies and that perfect little family. Because that's what I really want. So my answer is yes. I want to stay married.
And that's nice to see. The thing about them is, it's a little deeper than that, because what you fail to look at is they made it work. She was actually on The Bachelor before this and was awkward as hell. Like, I mean, she obviously been trying to make it work in reality TV. Thankfully, she did here. But when they got there, she was not attracted to him at all. She said it over and over and over again. Like, it was uncomfortable how much she would say she's unattracted to him. And then yet, they continued to work, they continued to bust it, and get together and have kids and have a marriage, and they're still together 10 years later, going through the not being attracted to him, going through the he had some addiction issues. You know what it goes to show? It's not about your person. It's about you making it work. You making a conscious decision that I really admire this person. I really like this person. I'm going to make it work because they are a good person. You fall in love with them, you make it work. You work every day because the honeymoon phase does not last. Even if you have the best honeymoon phase, it doesn't last. You have to commit every single day to make it work. If you've been with someone a long time, this guy, you know that it takes a lot of work. I love my wife. It takes work. Doesn't matter how much you love someone, it takes a lot of work. And these people on here, most of them are not ready to make it work. But you know what? I give it to Doug and Jamie because they made it work. They continue to make it work. And I hope they still continue to make it work and don't end up getting a divorce or something. Doesn't look like it'll go that way. But thankfully, they are still happy together, and I will give that to them. Out of all these, they didn't have a whole lot of things right, but the ultimate couple or ultimate love story or whatever that one was, they got that one right. Kudos. You got one. You got one. Thank you for joining me for this part 2 of Ultimate Couples Clips, whatever. I definitely appreciate it. We're going to be looking at some other videos of Married at First Sight, waiting for the Chicago season to come out. If you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks, or at the very least, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I definitely appreciate it. 1,000 subscribers. Once we get there, we're going to be looking at that live show, probably when Chicago comes out, which is going to be interesting to say the least. I can't wait for it. Thanks again for the support, and I will see y'all next time.